hashtag I'm just saying. I'm yours truly, MemeMichelle. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I want you to get involved. I want you to ask questions. I want you to use your emojis and share this episode, because today we're going to be talking about the death of George Floyd, police brutality in America. And I know this subject may offend some. It ain't for all.
Right. But
it was just something I think that we needed to discuss. Well, I'm not making a drink of the day because, you know, my guest, he don't drink. He's, you know, health. He still look like he's 12, except for the salt and pepper beard. This is my special guest, Marlon and Logan. Went to high school together. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing good, Mimi. How you?
This is the A-Leaf legend. Let's fan him. Let's fan him. You know, I try to give my A-Leaf legends their props. But we're going to be talking about this today, and I wanted to have a black man on because first I want to ask you, where were you when you found out this happened?
I was just moving around towards a gym, or I was outside somewhere. Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah.
Okay. He was 46 years old. He was killed by an officer. I don't want to mispronounce the man's name. I ain't gonna disrespect him. And he was allegedly called the police on him for fraud, some type of fraud. I don't know if it was a bad check. I don't know if it was a fake 20. I don't know what it was.
Right.
But how does it make you feel, because you have sons, mm-hmm. as a black man, how does this make you feel?
Honestly, I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest thing that you can sit back and say is I'm immune to it. Mm-hmm. When you become immune to it, or kids become immune to it, we got a problem. That means it's a major problem. So I'm always disappointed and furious because I watch to see the reaction. That's what I want to see. Mm-hmm. I'm more disappointed in the reaction than anything else.
Okay.
I believe, you know, everybody talks about the world is balanced. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I believe that the world is out of balance because of black people. That's just my perception.
Ooh, expound on that. You said the world is out of balance because of black people.
Yeah.
Make that plain for me. Help me understand.
For every reaction, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
The law of nature, each animal, you know, how they eat and survive. Mm-hmm. We are the ones who are not keeping the world in balance because we're not reacting to what's happening. You know what I mean? We're reacting under somebody else's laws and under somebody else's guidelines. We're not reacting to the laws of nature and balance. There's not a reaction from us that goes back at them that makes them understand, look, if you hit us, we're going to hit you back.
Do you think that that's something different? Because that was my next question. You know, as people of color, we have seen this several times. Sandra Bland. We've seen police officers just kill us, our black men, for no particular reason. You've seen, I forgot the little young white man's name who killed all the people in the church, and when they arrested him, they took him to Burger King because he was hungry. Mm-hmm. This man, there was one man in the car where he was like, yes, I do have a weapon. I think his girlfriend and child was in there, and they killed him. Mm-hmm. Why is it that... Yeah, see, you good with the names. I'm not. It just makes me angry. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So the country is reacting a little bit differently this time. Mm-hmm. You're seeing riots not done by us, right, but yet we get the blame. Right. You see looting not done by us, mm-hmm, yet we get the blame. And then when we try to protest peacefully, that's not good enough. Right. We kneel, that's not good enough. We fight back, that's not good enough. So now we see the country, like the whole U.S. pretty much, even in other countries, they are finally standing up and saying no more, no more, no more. What makes this one different than all the rest of them? This situation different, you think?
My perspective on it is just, I don't really think anything makes this, nothing makes it any different. Mm-hmm. The world is definitely watching. I have some friends like in Africa, on the continent, that are African and have never been to America,
right,
that I dialogue with.
Right.
And they watch it every hour on the hour. They talk about what's going on. Just this past couple hours, I think the African Union, the first time in whenever, they just put out a statement denouncing what was going on over here. But I'll tell you what I think has changed. what I think has changed is that they feel that black people are docile people.
They think.
And now what they're doing is they're implementing their people into our movements. Like what's going on where everybody say the white people are doing this and doing that. They're implementing people into our movements, and they don't think we'll do anything about it. We're taking the blame. They're using those movements to break glass, to start fires,
yes,
to hurt other people,
yes,
to incite riots.
Yes.
And so what happens with that is that's people on the left. That is Antifa is left, regardless of whether people want to believe it or not. And what they're eventually doing is, at the end of the day, what people are going to say, you're going to start seeing black people and everybody else on TV, go out and vote. Make sure you vote. Get your vote. Okay, so guess what? They using us in order to put their guy in office.
They're using
nothing to do with us.
So let me ask you this, because me and my sister were talking. We've been dealing with the coronavirus for over it's been around for a while.
Right.
You know, because when you think back to when Kobe got killed, big old, I forgot the paper, the New York Times, whatever, Kobe gets killed in a helicopter crash. And in the corner, really small, it said, working tirelessly for a corona vaccine. Nobody noticed that back in January.
Right.
Nobody noticed that they were talking about that last year. Now all of a sudden we've been locked down for over 6 weeks, right? Then all of a sudden you have this police officer crush this man's neck, suffocate him. This man is calling for his deceased mom. Now all the attention is shifted. Do you think, me personally, I think Kobe Bryant was sacrificed for something. I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me, the helicopter crash. Now we got the coronavirus was big. Don't open everything back up. And now you have all of our attention shifted to this.
Right.
Something just don't seem right about it to me. Tell me how you feel.
Honestly, I believe it's all a setup. That's just me. I believe that they first of all, when we start talking about black people in general, they believe that we don't do our research. We get all our news from the mainstream media.
Yep.
If you don't have at least 7 to 10 black outlets that you can go to religiously to get your news from, then you understand it's 3 things. Information determines your perception. Okay. Your perception determines your behavior. So the information that you get from TV or from the news, whatever, determines how you view things.
That's right. That's why how programming.
Right. And how you view things determines your behavior on how you're going to react on it.
And how people view us.
Right. And we get all our information. Too many of us get our information from the TV, from CNN, from Fox News, CNBC, and MSNBC. We get all our news from there. We getting our news from the people who would never want us to be in power. Right. So that's just kind of how we look at it. And so anyways, going back and forth too with the I mean, think about it. SARS was here. It came and went.
And went.
You know,
Ebola
is come and gone. They ain't talked about this COVID the last couple of days, but they want all of us to sit back and say, okay, be prepared for the vaccine. Be prepared to do this. They got us sitting inside and just accepting whatever they throw at us.
Because really, I'm not saying that COVID does not exist. That's not what I'm saying. So y'all don't take that as that.
Something is out there.
I believe we do have something, but it just don't sit well with my spirit. My inner Shondo is what I'm saying.
No doubt.
So let's talk about, okay, when the riots first popped off, they targeted the Target. This is where I have the problem. I understand the anger. I understand the aggression. I understand why people feel the way they feel. Because what's happening to me, especially since Obama was in office, it was like we kept seeing on social media black men getting killed by police officers. And there was nothing that nobody could do about it, right? So then what do people do? They go out and they destroy things in their own community. And this is the problem I have, and people may disagree with it. When you destroy things in your own community, it takes away jobs. It takes away your uncle's job, your mama's job, your brother's job, your cousin's job, your baby mama job, your baby daddy job, because most people in the hood work in their community. They don't have a car. They can't go too far. So they work around their neighborhood, right? You understand what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
And so when you tear up your own community, it just doesn't make sense to me. The first thing, should I say this? The first thing that made sense to me is when they burned down the police station. At least their anger was pointed towards. And I'm not saying go burn down police departments and police stations, Facebook. That's not what I'm saying. Right. But what I'm saying is that was the first thing. If you're gonna be angry, point your aggression to who you're angry at.
No, I agree.
Now, the world, America, they have America's attention because they hitting where they're supposed to hit now. What you think? He just looking at me smiling.
I'm with it. I mean, I get it. Now, as far as I agree with you, don't burn down your neighborhood.
Don't burn down your neighborhood.
First of all, if it goes back to what we said, if there was an equal and greater reaction, then we wouldn't be in our neighborhood anyway. We'd be on our way to somebody else's neighborhood.
You sure right. You sure right.
And not only that, but when people understand, when you tear down your own neighborhood, gentrification sets in. You decrease the property value of everything in your neighborhood. Woo! So now the outside people are gonna come in. They're gonna buy up
like
everything.
Third Ward.
They're gonna buy up everything, and now you out. You know what I mean? So that's what you got to be mindful of as far as that's concerned. And a lot of people who work, unfortunately, the black people who work in their neighborhood, they have minimum wage and low paying jobs.
Yes.
The black people who have the higher paid jobs leave their neighborhood, and then they spend all of their income outside their neighborhood. You know?
Facts.
And so the other people outside your neighborhood are living on two incomes, theirs and yours, that you spend outside of there.
Yes.
So when you come back, you're not spending anything in there in your neighborhood. You're not lifting it up. The people who, my thing is like this: if it's a hood is a condition. Okay?
Come on, because
the hood is a condition.
Yes.
And if you don't leave, you come back and you pull the condition out of the hood. You know what I'm saying? It's a mindset. Take the condition out. Don't leave and leave everybody stuck. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Come back and learn how to take the condition out. Open up a store over here. Get these people some jobs. Reinvest it in the job. Mm-hmm. And that makes people understand how to have an economic power base. So that's just kind of...
So how can we teach that? How can we fix that? How can we reach one, teach one? Mm-hmm. You understand? So how can we do that? Because we grew up, especially like 9th grade, 10th grade, color didn't mean much to us anymore because we grew up in A-Leaf. Right. We're at the point where, this is why we're all still so close, it wasn't that many of us. Mm-hmm. But we learned to...
Well, you was with us all the time.
We was with us all the time.
I went was the Sharpstown Mall.
Yeah.
That's furthest I left the hood.
Fondren and Bel Air, or whatever that bus was.
Yeah, furthest I left was the Sharpstown.
But we grew up in an atmosphere where it was very multicultural. I guess is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And so our generation, we're different. What I'm starting to realize, and you tell me if you think I'm wrong, we assimilate as a people.
Oh, yeah, I hate that.
We assimilate.
I dislike it.
And other cultures, what was the word I used yesterday? They don't assimilate. They use, it's a word that I use.
Nor should they.
Yeah, but
nor should
but
we.
They use everything we have: our dialogue, our hairstyles, our fashion, and then once they do it, it's a trend. When we do it, it's hood. Mm-hmm. I always say, black girls. I have on a pair of slides now. They're Adidas. Now they're fashion. Now they cost a lot of money. But I remember when we were young, we go into the beauty supply. They were a couple of bucks. We just got those to slide around the neighborhood, and that was called ghetto. That was called hood. And they took the same fluffy, furry slides that we used to just walk around the house in. Mm-hmm. Now it's fashion.
Right.
Why is it that when we do something, it's hood. When other cultures do it, it's trendy. It's fashion. Like we've been wearing cornrows for years. Little young black girls.
We allow other people to dictate our mindset on what it is. They might take the same fashion that we have, that we might start it, or we allow other people to dictate and to put a value on everything that we have. When to us, it's just normal, it's comfortable, it's us being us.
Yes.
It's not anything at a lower level or less than anybody else. We're just being who we are.
Yes.
But when we allow somebody else to put a value on what we're doing, or it's just that's what tends to start separating us from each other. Because now, they said this is worth that, I gotta have that. You know what I mean? So we allow other people to dictate our mindset on who we are. And when it comes down to how we start helping kids from the beginning, I think everything comes back to an economic base. Economic base is the training of the mind.
Okay.
That's where you train the mind. That's where you teach them as they're coming up. Look, this is who we are. This is what we have. When you need something, you go over there. You need food, you go over there. You need to work on a house. You need to learn how to build a house. You go right there. Okay. You need to learn how to be an engineer. You go over there. Mm-hmm. That teaches them. See, black people all our lives, we've been taught how to compete against each other for everybody else's attention. We've never been taught to work together as a team, as a unit. So therefore, if something goes wrong, I know I need to call Mimi. You know what I'm saying? Or we can work together. And so with that being said, that's why we're always against one another and challenging one another. Other people have made us feel like look, you got to compete against him. You going against him. Nah. That's my dude. We're going to build this together. That's my girl. We're going to build this together. If y'all don't want us, we good. We're going to stay over here and get it, because guess what? If black people was really honest, if we were really honest with ourselves,
come on with it.
We don't give a damn about no money. We just like to kick it with each other, have a good time, and roll out. Hey, I'll see you tomorrow. You know what I mean? If money didn't, like you said, we wearing sandals, we put no value in that. We just hanging around with each other. But when other people have come in with capitalism and commerce, that's what makes us feel like we got to go against each other, because we want to live to somebody else's standard instead of having our own and making them understand this is who we are. We ain't got to live like y'all.
That man that spoke word. So look, I was doing my research. You know, social media shows everything, right? And listening to the George Floyd story, I learn new stuff every day. Okay. So the police officer, and y'all put y'all comments, y'all real quiet, I need y'all to let me know how you feel. The police officer and George, used to work together. Mm-hmm. That's kind of strange to me too, because somebody said, well, maybe they didn't know each other. If you're at a club.
17 years.
The police officer worked 17 years. I think George worked 1. Mm-hmm. Out of that 1 year, you mean to tell me they never saw each other? Right. They never had a conversation, or they never had a word, or never like, how you doing today? It's something. Right. So for them to have known each other, when he saw that man, when he pulled him out the car, he knew who he was pulling out the car.
I believe so.
I believe he knew he was pulling out the car. And he still suffocated that man.
I believe so. I believe it was premeditated.
Tell me why.
Because like you said, they knew each other somewhere or another. They ran across each other somewhere or another. And he had a vendetta against that man. Mm-hmm. And for him to slowly kill him and sit there with that, it's like I'm taking the air up out of you, partner, and I'm doing it slowly. Like I know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I know who I'm doing it to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you've never seen that before. Even when Eric Garner got choked out on TV, on camera, in New York, at least he was fighting back. Yeah. He was wrestling. This man was not trying to fight back, and this man still killing him slowly, taking the air out of him slowly. And that's another level of evilness. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
That's another level of evilness. And so people talk about the third-degree murder. I've talked to people and asked about that as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I get it now that when I talk to a couple people.
My question to you, and then I can't see the questions. Y'all don't got my glasses on, so I'm sorry. But my question to you and to Sheldon. So we all know about the Willie Lynch syndrome. We all know about. For those of you who don't know, Willie Lynch was a white man that said, "You want to know how to control your slaves? You take the man, you demasculate him, you put him in front of his pregnant wife, his kids, his relatives, his friends. We're gonna take 4 horses. We're going to tie his arms up. We're going to tie his legs up. We're going to let the horses go in 4 different directions, tear them apart. Now we have fear placed within the whole black community. Not only that, we're going to rape their men. We're going to rape their women. And we're going to pit the light-skinned blacks against the dark-skinned blacks. Right. So now, today, we still have those types of issues. I still have to fight for my blackness. I don't know about you, because of my skin tone. Because just because I'm fair skinned, people take me as soft or weak. Now you got this big black man, George Floyd. You take him and every other black man that was killed on social media for us to see. You see what I'm saying? It's like the same thing in a different time. It's the 2020.
It's a warning or something.
Like, we still control you. You're still beneath us. We still can do whatever we want to do to you. We're not going to hang you from a tree. We're going to kill you with the law. As a black man with sons, how does that make you feel? That's my first part of the question.
All right. I had a conversation with my sons. What's today? Sunday? Probably Thursday. Thursday, Friday.
Because how old are your sons?
10, basically 10, 13, and 15, and almost 16. 10, 13, and 15. So I had them, and people that might have thought it was tough, but I put the whole 10-minute video in front of them, and they watched the whole thing. They watched it, and I'm watching them to see what they do. They don't blink. They watching it. So it wasn't. And so I don't know what other people talk about with their children, but like my wife told somebody else the next day, and she was talking to him, and she would call me where said, my mother didn't talk about that to our boys. I already know that. He talked about revenge. So that's my mindset. So I told them, look, if y'all understand this, if something ever happened to y'all, their family is going to suffer the same thing that y'all suffered. Not the person who did it, but their family is going to suffer the same thing. So that's my communication with them. From a teaching standpoint, one thing we got to remember about the thing with the Willie Lynch syndrome, and when they did that to the black men, it hurt the black women just as much as anything else, because what they did, they started bringing their child up saying, be careful, don't look at him in his eye. Yep. Because they didn't want their child to have to suffer the same fate. You know what I mean?
Emmett Till.
So now you bringing up a man, teaching him how to be a little docile himself. You know what I mean? Not to be respectful. Hold his head down, don't look at that man in his eye. You showing that man is greater than him. So I think that the women need to understand that, listen, first of all, it's like this. Too many of us are afraid to die. I mean, that's just keeping it a buck.
Okay.
But it depends on who you are, how you live, what your belief system is, and how you feel. But too many of us are living to die instead of dying to live. You know what I mean? And we don't think about our posterity going forward. Not prosperity of money. We're talking about posterity. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices now in order for people down the road to understand, look, we're building for our generations that we don't see. And that's what's happening to the people, other people around us who are building for generations down the road. They're doing it for the people that they'll never see. And us are laying back. While we laying back, for the generations that we don't see, we're preparing them to be laid back as well. And to be ran over. So, I mean, it's just...
So, yeah. Because as a woman, I'm one of the only people in our crew that does not have children. But I had a father. I have uncles, I have homies, and I have a nephew. And it's sad because we're the only ones that have to teach our sons, hold the steering wheel. Make sure you let them know, okay, I'm taking my hand off. I'm getting my license.
Right.
And it shouldn't have to be that way.
No, it shouldn't have to.
It shouldn't have to be that way. My word, and there are some great white people out there who are just, and I don't want you to think that I'm bashing other cultures, other people, because there are some I have great white friends that are just as disgusted as we are.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, if you don't stand up and say something, then you're guilty. Facts. If you don't say anything, if you don't voice your disgust, don't be busting out windows like the police officer did at the AutoZone. He all dressed up because it's like you want to make it seem like we're standing out there peacefully. Right. But you dressed up. If it wasn't for the ex-wife, we would have never known it was the police officer who busted the windows, trying to make us look bad. We are not, there are some bad black people out there that do dirt, that need jail time. They don't need death, they need that jail time. But just as many bad black people, you got the same amount of bad white people, you got the same amount of bad Asians, Mexicans, Africans,
Arabs.
All Muslims aren't bad Muslims. Every man with the head wrap getting on the plane ain't trying to blow the plane up. But if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
I agree. And
you can disagree with whatever I say.
I look at it along this line as well. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I'll add a different angle to it. It's for the ones who are, if for the other groups or white people, whoever, who aren't saying anything, sometimes I sit back and say, why should they? Let me tell you why.
Come on.
They taking care of their own, and they're going to be quiet. If y'all don't say nothing, why should we say something? If y'all ain't going to do nothing, why should we do something? If y'all ain't going to do nothing, y'all showing me that shit. Y'all soft anyway.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Well, we starting to see that. We ain't soft.
So, so that's what I'm saying. So it's like, why we shouldn't expect, if we took care of ourselves like we talked about, you know what they'll be speaking up about? They'll be telling, whether it's their husband or whoever, when they leave the house,
watch what you do to them.
Watch what you do today, because you know whatever you do is going to affect us in our home. But if we handled our business like that, that's how it would come out. And that doesn't mean that we hate another group. I've said it before. I've got white friends, and I'm okay with them going home to their white family, their white community, in their white vehicle or whatever, and getting on their white plane. And I'm okay with that. And then when we get together, we kick it. Yeah. And we have a good time. And then I want them to understand I'm going home to my black family, my black vehicle, my black community, my black, you know what I'm saying, my people. And we going to kick it. Yeah. And then when I see you again, to the other group, what's happening? Cool. How you doing? We good? Yeah. So it's like, at the end of the day, people got to understand, all we all want to do is just go home safely. Yes. You know what I mean? And so, in order for us to be able to make that move to go home safely, we got to be able to step up and do what's needed as individuals and as a collective group. And I think that we need to understand that the first thing about us needs to be we are all unique in our blackness. Okay? Yeah, that's first and foremost. And so, for anybody, whether they're homosexual, bisexual, anything, okay. That's a different type of behavior, okay? What you have no control over is this right here. And we shouldn't want it, because we should always this right here. This is love, you know what I'm saying? We special people. So, yeah. And that's why sometimes I have the issue with our people. Now, I'm going to say this to y'all because I love y'all. Y'all my babies, y'all my homies, y'all my friends. We go on vacation, and the first thing that comes out of our mouth, not mine, because I'm trying to get it. Oh my God, I can't be in the sun because I can't get dark. Shit. Excuse me, yeah. I don't understand it. Because when I walk into a room, and let it be clear,
I'm still black. And it don't matter how fair I am. It don't matter if I'm slim or if I got short hair, long hair. I'm still treated the same. I'm not treated any differently. And if we running around here talking about we're proud to be black, then don't worry about the sun, because the sun is good to us.
Absolutely.
The sun energizes us.
Our hair grows to the sun.
Yes.
It grows up.
I told Marlon, I said, hey, you got to get up in here because my hair going to turn into an afro if it gets wet. It's raining outside.
Right.
But I just feel we are making noise this go round. That's why I want to know, why was this situation different? Because we're really protesting all over the country. They're showing mostly every state. And mostly every state has had a peaceful protest. Every time we see the looting, it's not us. Now, we all doing some dumb stuff. I was like, come on, y'all, Target. Come on.
We can get caught up.
We get caught up in it. We get caught up in it. But for the most part, that we just won't change. America, this is what we want. We want you to grow up. We want you to understand that we have successful people of color and not just black people. All colors, all races. You know, we have successful Asians, successful Mexicans. Donald Trump was trying to send the Mexicans back. Who gonna cut your grass? Because I don't know nobody black that's trying to cut no grass. I don't know nobody black that's trying to clean. You cutting grass? Yeah, let me know. Because we have the nice little Spanish man that cuts our grass. But it's like, if every black and brown person or someone of color left America, America will crumble. Because America was built on our backs. And the types of things that we create, that we make, that we do, we excel at every single thing.
No, we do. We do.
Not just sports.
No question. But that's, unfortunately, sports is what we pushed, and we shouldn't push it.
Yes.
America was built on the backs of slaves, our ancestors.
Yes.
We also got to remember that it was built upon, whether you want to call
thievery.
it. Yeah, it was built upon racism. Okay? So I talk to some people sometime, and I tell them, like we was talking about our neighborhoods when an athlete or entertainer, whoever gets money, they say, I made it, so I'm about to move out, right? Okay, you move out. You move to River Oaks. River Oaks, they built River Oaks for them.
They don't want you there.
You know what I'm saying? So when you come and you get a house in River Oaks or wherever, guess what you are? You are a guest in somebody else's neighborhood. It's not yours.
Yeah.
You left something that was yours to be a guest in somebody else's.
Instead of making your neighborhood better.
Right. So the same thing I look at as far as the United States right now, and I'm like,
even though we built it, we're guests.
We are guests in somebody else's country. All right.
Well, guess what?
Nothing, whether the Constitution, nothing was written for us to be able to have access to anything.
None of that applies to us. You're absolutely right.
If you can't measure it or can't count it, you shouldn't want it. Okay.
And
so what we don't, everybody all the aforementioned names and nationalities that you called out, they all have somewhere they can go back and call home.
Except for us.
Because we have been told that Africa is against us and that this is a bad place. But every resource in the world comes from our home.
Yes.
And we refuse to acknowledge it.
That's because we don't know better. And once you know better, you what? You do better. Because one of my clients told me she went to Africa with her fiance. And she was like, Mimi, it was beautiful. Yeah. And mostly everybody I met was rich. And white people, they over there vacationing. You don't see us vacationing there because they know where they're going. My sister said the same thing when she went to Africa. She was like, man, Mimi, you have to go.
Right.
We got to go. I'm going to Africa.
I was going there. I had tickets to go this year, and I got a refund back after everything
after
started.
The pandemic.
Which was cool, but I'm still going back. I even go. I went to London. I took the family to London. Oh, we was in London for this past Christmas.
Okay.
Kids love it. Like the family, they loved it. And so you got, and it's only several hours away from Africa. So you got whole communities of black folks. We stayed in Brixton, then we stayed in Southampton, different time, but it's great, and everybody is wonderful. The thing about over there, I'll give you a story. It's funny too. The thing about over there, one thing they don't do, like even in London, and they don't ask you like, what do you do for a living? That's an American thing. They have no desire to know what you do. So our conversation is going to be genuine from the beginning. What you do doesn't mean I'm gonna. That determines my next conversation, next sentence to you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's out the door. Another thing that they found was funny was I had I had some friends and coworkers that was from all over Kenya, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, everywhere. So we're talking one time, and I was talking to somebody. They say, excuse me, let me get myself. I was talking about somebody and said they was describing a family member to me. I said, well, how tall is he? They say, why do Americans always do that? I said, what you mean? They say, they always ask how tall they are. We have 3 levels. We have small, medium, or tall in height. Yeah. They said, we don't have it. So I showed them one time. I said, well, this is how we know height. So you know how we walk out the store, they got the height barometer there or whatever. So they can say, oh, he's 6'2". And this. He said, y'all describe people so quickly in America. How do you do that? We always laugh. And they said, we don't know that. So I showed them that bar one time, and they said, they were shocked by that. Like they can't just say somebody, oh, he's about 6'2". They don't look at that.
What you're saying is the things that we as Americans value.
Yeah.
Other countries don't value those things.
At all. And you got to get a passport, and you got to be able to go to other countries, and you got to be. That helps you to see
how other people live.
And it's a beautiful world
and
out there.
Appreciate where you live, even though what America once was not America anymore. Because I've been on vacation a few times. You know, when you're doing the currency exchange, your currency used to outweigh their currency. Now it's like you might as well keep your American money because their currency is more than yours.
Yeah, you get for $100 in Europe, you're gonna get $75 back.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was in there, and every time I go somewhere, I talk to black people.
I know we digress, but this is good.
I talk to black people everywhere I go. I love to talk to them just to see. So I was talking to 2 different women one time, right? And I talked to them, and we were just having conversations because I want to know about the European Union and everything. I'm listening. Then I asked them, and we was talking about different things in America. So I asked them, I said, if you could describe black people with one word, Americans in one word, what would you say? One of them said, confused. Like that's what she said, right? So a whole nother conversation, and later on, maybe about an hour later, we had the same conversation. I asked the same another black chick. I said, if you can describe from y'all's perspective in Europe here, and from Africa, from London and Africa, if y'all can describe what do y'all think about black Americans when you think if you could give it in one word. She said lost. Like one said confused, one said lost. So in other words, it's to help you understand like our people all around the globe are seeing what's happening to us. And you know what they always say? They always say, why do y'all stay there? And someone say, I will never go there. You know, but for us, this is all we know. No. And we think because we get other information from everybody else, we think everybody else got it worse than we. When they look at us and be like, how do y'all do that?
Well, just like how they look at us the way we're portrayed on TV. When the truth of the matter is, if you didn't know any better, you'd think every black person in Africa was poor. Yeah. That they all had the swollen bellies waiting on the rice to fall from the sky, right. Which that's not true. Right. That's why it's called television programming. Yeah. We digest so much trash from the internet, from social media, from TV shows, and what you take in is what you put out.
Of course. Input equals output.
What you take in is what you put out. Same with diet. What you put into your temple, that's what people see. A lot of people can eat junk food and you can't tell. A lot of people can drink and you don't know they're alcoholic. True. But normally over time, what you put in is what comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
And we have to stop paying attention. And the world, if I have any of my other culture people watching, everything you see on TV about black people, it's not true. We are a smart people. We are innovative people. We are caring people. We are strong people. And we're starting to see it around the globe. If things don't change, this is my fear, and then we're going to wrap it up. If things don't change, we're going to be in a civil war. And it's not going to be against other countries. It's going to be against the haves and the have-nots. It's going to be against black people, against other cultures. They're trying to pit the blacks and Asians together. I saw that as clear as day, talking about the Asians wasn't being nice to the African people overseas when the pandemic happened. How do we know that that is all true? We're not there. Just like every time you see somebody on the news of color, when the newscaster wants to do an interview, they're not going to get you. Well, let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you, Junebug said, that's what you, and so people think that that's how we are, and that's not our whole culture. Right. We need change. America, please grow up. This is our home. I wasn't born in Africa. This is my home. And I'm tired of seeing, and thank you for helping me with this. I know I'm about to change, flip the script. When you talked about how women, don't do that, baby. Hold your head up. We're only protecting what we love.
Absolutely.
And that's why it is always good to have a two-parent household, because a mother is a nurturer. A father is the stern one that gives love when necessary. And he's the one like, hey, don't you put up with that. Son, pick your head up.
Mamas need to be doing the same thing.
Mothers need to do the same thing. But what you don't know, they say we raise our daughters and love our sons too much. Because we're so busy trying to protect them from what's out there.
True.
The way you protect them from what's out there is that you educate them. And you give them the tools they need to survive. It's sad that we have to tell them, when you get pulled over, don't say nothing. When the truth of the matter is, if it was any other culture, they'd be like, what are you pulling me over for? F you, buddy. They can fight the laws and go home and have a meal with their family. Right. That's not our case. Right. So America, I need you to grow up. I need you to love us. And in order for other people to love us, we got to love ourselves.
We have to educate ourselves.
We got to educate ourselves. We got to love ourselves. And young adults, you got to start listening to us. We only telling you because we've been where you've been. That particular generation knows everything. And we need you because you're our future now. You see what we're dealing with? America is burning. America, if you really think about it, if you go on social media and they showing every state that's protesting, every state that has something going on behind George Floyd, America is burning. And if we're not careful, America's going to burn down to the ground. You need to vote. You need to get out. Don't vote Donald Duck back in office, because he looks at you as a thug and he looks at white protesters as those good people. Read his tweets. You gotta pick the lesser evil. That's all I'm saying. Please pick the lesser evil. It does not matter who it is. Well, it does matter, but just pick the lesser evil. Don't let it be Donald Duck.
No.
Don't with the orange. Don't do the tangerine, okay?
I tell you what, though. This is what I told mine.
Okay.
Okay. First, let me say something about black women.
Help me.
One thing about black women is this, they so crafty, right? And stern. They really know what they do. When they put their mind to something, they just really get it done, right? So you take back in the early, mid-'80s, the late 80s, okay? When we started listening to NWA talking about bitches and hoes and stuff. We really never heard that before that, right?
Right.
So men started using the term bitches and hoes, right?
To describe us.
So the women took it to a whole nother level. So we can give them something, and when they take, when black women take it, they master it. They become the masters of everything. You know what I mean? And so the same thing with pushing things to help your children to understand things, they can master it.
Yeah.
But when we took the bad term first and started using it negatively towards our women, and they've taken it to a whole
another level.
They accept it sometimes. They call each other B1 sometimes. Now they kind of flipped a lot of their behavior to do certain things. We initiated a lot of that. So even if we start things, y'all can master it. You know what I mean? That's what we need to be careful about.
I got you.
This is what I tell my kids about the voting part, and this is what I go in. I get charged up on social media all the time, especially Facebook, because
it's your opinion.
Yeah, because I tell them like this. I know what the right is doing, meaning like the Republicans and Trump, so I don't have to talk about them because we know who they are. I put my focus on the left.
Okay.
And what I tell, this is me personally, I say, I can't consciously tell my kids to vote for any evil. Because if I tell them to vote for evil and they do it, even if it's the lesser of, they're gonna keep doing it. It's gonna keep trickling down. Their kids will vote for a certain left. So my thing was, I tell people, listen, we've done this for 60 years. Let's find another way. What's the other way? Well, look, if they know, if us as blacks are
this is a whole nother show. I'm ready. Let's talk about it.
If us as blacks are the majority of the Democratic Party when it comes down to voting, okay, what are they gonna do? First of all, they haven't given us enough worth counting, taking into consideration. If just one time, whether it's 2020, we just say, look, we chilling. We're gonna let y'all do it without us, since y'all putting Antifa in here and messing up our stuff anyway, okay? What they gonna do? They're gonna lose, right? They'll lose that in the 2020 election.
So you saying if we don't vote at all,
you can do what you
like
want to do.
No, I'm asking a question.
Yeah, that's just me. I'm just.
If all black people don't vote,
guess what? If we did that in 2024, do you realize how much of important desire they will really come with something that we need?
Because our votes weigh. Because
they see that they lost by a landslide.
That's you don't have to educate me. That's a whole nother time.
Right, we can talk about that. But
we're going to talk about it. We're going to get a panel.
We have no policies. Black people, they have not made any policies for black people.
No, that's true.
Agree with that, okay? So let's talk about this. Since the coronavirus and COVID and everything else, you know what they did in San Antonio? They passed a policy. It's a hate crime. It's if you use the word Chinese virus or you call it the Chinese virus, you can be charged with a hate crime.
Well, they need to get their president because he the one doing it.
Right, but what I'm saying is they passed that for Chinese people. They've been calling us N-words
for years.
We can't get nothing close to that.
Oh, just like 40 acres and a mule.
You see what I'm saying?
We ain't getting no reparations.
Nobody's passing any policy for us.
But the Holocaust, they got paid.
But we still keep saying this is who we are.
Because China own everything. But anyway, you got to keep them happy. Because China own everything. I can't even get no weave. My sister's like, has China opened back up yet so I can order me some things?
I got some people over there now.
Baby. But look, I want to say this. Black men, we love you. I know you don't believe it, but a strong black woman really loves you. We pray for you. And you're going out and you're coming in because we know, black women, we know that you're an endangered species. That's the way we look at you. They value their pets more than your life is valued. You bet not muzzle a dog, your ass is going to jail.
Cooper.
That's a ticket. But you can muzzle a man and put your knee in his neck till he calls for his deceased mom for help before he dies and nobody does anything. Step up, America, and grow up. And black men, we love you. You are my favorite people. What do you say?
Sheldon say we cannot allow DT to stay in office, so we have to vote.
You better believe it.
Can I say something to Sheldon?
Yeah,
That's my man. I ain't seen you in a while, Sheldon. The brain
Mr. Sheldon.
Sheldon, I'm with you, first of all. I get that. The thing about it is this. I say, look at Biden still has not given us any policy for us.
And Biden don't really like us either.
You see what I'm saying? So
he really don't like us. Do your research.
What he did say was
he passed that bill.
The first thing that he said this, and you can look it up. The first thing when I get in office, I'm gonna pass a gay agenda. That has nothing to do with black people again.
Because they trying to get the gay vote.
You see what I'm saying? Right. That has nothing to do with us. So, to me, if he has nothing for us, and put it like this, Trump just made a left group. He put them as a hate group. Mm-hmm. He did the same thing with Obama. He gave black HBUs more money than in history. Okay. He gave clemency to more black people. The First Step Act. Okay. Our previous president didn't do that. So I'm not saying, now what we don't like that Trump is doing, he lied. Yeah, he done lied about 26,000 times, I think they didn't call it, okay? No, real talk. You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot.
Yeah, he be lying, right?
For no reason.
No reason. And you know what? That upsets a lot of people in itself because he gets up there. Now let me keep it a buck.
And don't read the prompter.
If I was in office and I was talking like I'm hollering at my people, a lot of white people ain't gonna like me. Cause I'm just like, God damn, dog, what you doing?
But see,
man, fuck them crackers over there, man. Don't worry about them, man. They ain't shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what you supposed to do, go do it. So because he talks like that,
yes, he talks
we
like,
offended.
Cause he talks like the average
Yeah.
redneck. All right, look here, what we're gonna do.
Man, guess what he did? What people don't know, remember this, before he was president, he hung out with black people all the time. Mm-hmm. He gave a lot of black people their first loans for business that's not talked about. So it's not, it's.
So are you a Trumper?
Me? Mm-hmm. No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna tell you this. I'll tell you this. How could, I got 5 brothers, okay? Mm-hmm. My oldest brother's in the military. Mm-hmm. I'm the baby. Mm-hmm. My 3 in the middle, at one point in time, got caught up into the Crime Bill Act. Okay. They all was incarcerated at the same time.
Okay. That crime bill.
Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton. So how can you consciously tell me that I need to vote for Hillary Clinton when I got cousins with 2 strikes right now in Chicago.
Yeah, they did that. They did that. They passed that bill. And no, that's the kind of stuff that people don't talk about.
Right.
Because they all get up and lie when they running for office.
And then they want to blame it on the Congressional Black Caucus. They asked us to do this. No. Y'all bought them because y'all gave them some power. Y'all allowed them to have access to certain things. So they voted for it. You know what I mean?
We need to change course after 2020. I wholeheartedly agree. So look, I'm gonna get my political game up, and we are gonna have a show about voting. Really, how I need to have maybe you, a young adult, because these young adults, they don't get it. Mm-hmm. So we can sit down and have a panel. Now, right now, we got to do social distancing. This kind of close. But, I already said that if the numbers don't rise after all of the looting and the protesting and all the big crowds that have been all over America, if the numbers don't rise, then it's going to something to make you say, Mm-hmm. And I'm going to the gym. Mm-hmm. Because evidently, it ain't bad as we think.
Right.
But thank you, Marlon, for coming. Tell them about your business before you go. Are you still training?
I still train.
Speaking of.
Basketball.
Yes. I did the hashtag Get Fit last year. I did a competition in February, Transformation 2020. I did this weight loss thing. I went to the stage. But up until then, I was doing different workouts with different people. Okay. I want to do a basketball workout. Now, my knees don't work like they used to, and I can't shoot. But I just want to do like a workout routine that you would do like a warm up before y'all play. Because y'all work out a lot. Yeah. So I'm gonna get with you, and we're gonna film it. Don't laugh at me.
I'm with that.
We're gonna film it.
We can make that work.
And if you need your kids to train for basketball, tell the people about it. Then we're gonna
go. It's just kind of what it is. I've been coaching, doing basketball for 23 years now, and I coach it, and I train it. I do a lot of work under John Lucas, and it's been fun. That's just basically what I do. I love that. It's my job. I take care of my family, and it's been good for me and ours, and we continue to just find opportunities to make sure that the kids have a trade instead of being a sports or an athlete.
So his name is Marlon Lowe. If you're interested in signing your kids up with his camp, feel free. Or if you have kids from high school going to college that need a little extra help, Marlon Lowe, you can DM him. Don't be talking about, hey, you cute, what's your name? Because he is married, and I'm not trying to get beat down by his wife. So it's about business, inbox him. And thank you, Kid Styles, for my t-shirt. Y'all can't see it, but it's
Dope.
justice.
It's love, hate.
Yeah.
Old school radio, Raheem.
Yeah, but with
Dope.
George
With
Floyd.
on it.
Yes, and y'all will see this
Dope.
when I wear it to work. And if you want to buy one, hit me up. I got that too. So remember to laugh, remember to love, remember to be the light, and always bear good fruit. Thank you, Marlon. This is hashtag I'm Just Saying. See you next Sunday. Boop, bye.
You've been watching hashtag, what is it?
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.